I think this is a fitting guy too for this year. Didn't Super Mario Brothers come out this year, or was that
Yeah.
last year?
No, I think it was this year.
We got to call this guy Bowser, right? It's got to be Bowser.
Colton
So
Bowser.
our first one is Colton Cowser. Colton Cowser is 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a 23-year-old with the Baltimore Orioles. He was drafted in round 1, pick 5 overall out of college Sam Houston. He did debut last year. But let's talk about his minor league numbers here. He had in 2023 323 at bats at the AAA affiliate. His average was 300, on base percentage of 417, and slugged 520 with an on base plus slugging of 937. He had 9 stolen bases, was caught 3 times, 17 home runs. He struck out 107 times and walked 64 times. I'm a touch baffled why Colton Cowser is at number 30. I think he should be much higher. I'm a pretty big fan of Cowser. How's your feelings on this one?
Okay, so we talked about Cowser last year, and he was ranked considerably higher, which is probably a surprise to a lot of people, considering he made his pro debut this year, and his numbers on the surface are certainly better this year than they were last year. So let's dig into it a little bit, and I'll do my best to try to explain why I think he is dropped on STS, and I guess what I think my outlook on him is, because I was a little suspect to Cowser. I think last year he's very very high end prospect, clearly highly drafted kid out of Sam Houston, and he was pretty hot out of the gate this year and earned himself a major league call up, and he struggled in the major leagues.
Yeah.
So he struggled in the major leagues, and I want to try to get the splits on his minor time if I can, just because I haven't looked that up yet. But I think it looks like his minor league numbers also came down. So was he sent back down? Do you know?
I thought he was called up at the end of the year and was with the ball club into the playoffs.
Well, let's see what we can find out about that. Because his numbers were lower than I remember them being, and it might have just been because he was so hot out of the gate. But I think that, coupled with his major league debut, which wasn't that strong, is what has knocked him down so much. Because in the old model, we only looked at minor league stats. In this new model, we also include their major league performances up until they lose eligibility. So I've got his splits up here, and indeed, he was really hot in the first half of the season, like blazing hot. And then in July, he only hit 125. So really struggled in July. And August and September never really recovered. So it's possible that we're looking at some kind of nagging injury sort of situation, just because it's so stark, his first half and his second half. Very clear. And, I'm not sure, at this point, I'm not sure which Cowser we're going to get, because that first half Cowser was so good and would clearly be ranked much higher in these rankings here. As it is, he comes in at number 30 on the low end of our ranking list, but he does make it, so that's notable. I think he's got a pretty bright future. The strikeouts are something that are a cause of concern and something to keep an eye on. In 2022, they were pretty bad. He really did a good job cutting those numbers down this year, so that's a promising step forward. And he's already made his major league debut, so that's saying something.
And on a ball club that I'm really excited about. The Orioles have a fantastic future. If they can keep all these guys together, it's going to be something to behold, and Cowser is going to be a part of that.
Yep. So overall, I'd agree with you that he's low here.
Yeah.
He's low, but I also think the market might slightly overvalue Cowser, and I think if there's something you can take away from that, it's probably that. So if you're looking to upgrade prospects this could be one of those guys that you look at shifting for somebody that our model likes a little bit more, that also has the pedigree, because Kauser is very well respected out there.
So that's not a go get him. He's almost a sell for you.
I think I'm not going to call him a sell. I think that would undersell what I think his capabilities are. But I am going to say, like, he is a sell opportunity. He is somebody that if I owned him, I don't know if I would actively be trying to sell him, but if I could see that perspective where it's like, I think I could get someone like who's a good example? Like a Colt Emerson for a Colton Kauser. I might be willing to do that kind of an exchange. So
okay,
just depends.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about. I don't want to say go get him, but I'd like him a lot. I think it's team dependent. This is a team dependent situation. If you really want an outfielder, I think you go get him. Or if you really need an outfielder, you go get him. But if you have a few guys ahead of him, I don't think he's upgrading a good outfield situation, if that makes any sense. I think he's an everyday, really good MLB player. I don't think he's an all-star.
Yeah.
So with that, I don't think he's a go get him. That's odd to say to me, though. I really like Kauser.
Yeah, I mean, his projections are still pretty solid. Slash line projection is 241, 344, 371. Less power than I think you'd like to see from Kauser in his projections. And that strikeout rate, he projects for 26% K percent, which is high. That's what I was saying. You want to keep an eye on. Nonetheless, he is in the top 100 for hitting prospects, and he garners a comp that's pretty good to JT Realmuto.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad.
That's kind of interesting. He doesn't have much speed. Realmuto, I guess he's got 34 stolen bases in his career. So, I mean, he's not slow by any means. But yeah, okay.